Hello there, what is going on everyone? We are doing something a little different on the channel today. I am joined by some fantastic folks from WizKids who have given me a wonderful opportunity. I am joined by Max, Michael, and John. And what are we looking at today, guys? If you guys, you know.
Well, it's the core set of Star Trek Into the Unknown.
It is the core set of Star Trek Into the Unknown, Federation versus Dominion core set. We're going to be doing an unboxing of this, and big thanks to the folks here at WizKids making this all happen. This is super exciting, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm like crazy excited right now because I know you guys have been watching the channel. A lot of you guys have been asking me, when is this coming out? So we're going to show you what you're going to get in the core set, and I think release information is coming very, very soon, but I don't think we have anything concrete to say right now, although that would be great if we did. Before we jump into this, real quick, we're still doing 12 Days of Life Day in December, so if you want to get any of those giveaways that I'm doing in December, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Let's go ahead and dive into this. All right, so we've got the core set right here. We're gonna peel off the plastic so we can see it a little easier, and we're also gonna show you guys the amazing artwork on the sides and the back of the box as well, which is a very cool thing.
That was Kurt Kamada, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
He's done a number of different portraits for us, and yeah, we really like what he did. Especially the crew. I love the alien crew.
I love the artwork for this is really incredible. It's one of the things that really blew me away when I first saw it. I'm like, these aren't actually photos. This is art. This is beautiful. And we got Jeffrey Combs there too, so he's everywhere.
That was vital.
Yeah, you have to have Jeffrey Combs, right? Yeah. And look at that. And if you are fans of Deep Space Nine, they're like, it looks like there's going to be a lot of Deep Space Nine folks in this box. I guess we're going to see, right?
Quite a few.
We're going to see. Oh, in the back of the box. I got to show you the back of the box, too. Okay. So I think a lot of this is the same artwork that we see on the website. So if you've been following spoilers and all the Discords and social medias, you're going to see things like Worf and Miles O'Brien, I think, who was in the most Star Trek episodes of any actor, I think. Cole Meany was?
Could be.
I think so.
Or
it's either him or Worf. I mean, it's got to be one of those.
It's got to be him.
I feel like Worf has got to be up there, right?
They're definitely fighting for the thing. All right, so we've got this top insert, and then we've got everything else separate. So we've got the ships, and then we've got all the rest of the components. What should we do first? Should we look at the ships first? I think people want to see the ships first.
I think so. Yeah.
I think we're gonna do the ships first. All right. So we've got a little bit of. There we go. Oh, that popped off. So that's not taped on. So we've got some things that we've already seen. So we do have our Gemini fighters. Oh, this is nice. They're very similar. I think it's a slightly updated version of the one that I've seen already, but it's actually, I think it's better. There's more paint applications on this, and the paneling looks very solid. And these will also be fun to repaint because there's so many panel lines. There's so many things that people want to put some like a different wash on there or add some of their fleet colors. Like I want yellow squares on there or something like that.
I'm definitely planning to repaint some of my own.
Oh, I think that'd be a really fun thing to do. All right, we're gonna look at the Defiant here. I need to get some of the poles too. I want to show them on the bases as well. But
I can see if I can fish those up for you.
Yeah, thank you. That'll work out great. So we've got the Defiant here. And we'll get some close-ups also. I'm going to take some close-up photos too. So if you guys haven't already, check the links in the video description below because we're going to have links to our Instagram. And of course, we'll link to where you can check out your own over the WizKids site for Star Trek Into the Unknown. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. And so if you guys haven't seen any of my videos on this already, the base system is really cool because this is going to slide right in to the ship. And you can put as many of these as you want. I had put some photos recently where I used an old Deep Space Nine model, and I think about like 4 of these pegs to get it up to meet it. But yes, so did I got it the right way? I think I got it the right way right there.
Yeah, you can tell if there's indentations on the top of the base because that's where some tokens and things go.
Yes.
Yeah, and we did the same thing like we did with X-Wing, where
I don't have it in.
You could actually stack the pegs. So some of the ships hang over the bases quite a bit, so we wanted to make sure that you could stagger them a little bit so they could get close enough and not interfere.
One thing I really like about this system too is that they're not going to break off inside. Mm-hmm. You know, like I've seen that in other games where there's a peg system, but it's especially on the smaller pegs, they tend to cause problems over time. You end up having to glue them, and then it's not you don't have the same peg system. But this seems like a really well thought out peg system.
Yeah, they got like a T shape to them. It
Yes.
should be quite a bit more durable, I think. Than,
Yeah, I think
than a
so.
round peg.
Very cool.
And they're robust too. You're not going to accidentally snap these.
Right, and it's the same peg system for every size ship that I've seen so far, right?
Yeah, it's identical. They're just each base size has different peg slots in them. So like the large base has 3, which allows you to kind of stagger them a little bit.
Okay. All right. So we've got this is all right. So this is the Jem'Hadar battle cruiser. Is that okay? All right. Good. Oh wow. This is big, guys. Look, I've got big hands. Look at this. This is, I mean, not quite basketball size, but like maybe almost volleyball size.
Yeah, very large ship.
Yeah.
Make sure to flip it over too.
Oh, look at the bottom.
The bottom, I think, is actually more.
The bottom is actually has more detail.
Yeah. Well, it just has more things kind of called out. But
Yeah,
it's just
and
based off the reference we looked at.
then we've got our two bits here. So these are going to go in. Oh, that's a snug fit. That's going to hold it really well. I wasn't sure how well that was going to fit it, but that fit it perfectly.
Did we get the underside shot of that in the Valiant? Is that where that reference comes from?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow. Look at that. And so this is going to, and then this is our large base right here. And so the large bases actually have 3 separate injection
exactly.
points. So you have, now, is the idea that this has to go to a certain one, or can I just do wherever I want?
You can do whatever you want, but it's centered if it's on the rear 2.
Oh, yeah, that does.
The rearmost 2 of them.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
And so that's
and
a
the
centered.
Enterprise actually uses the front and the rear. It doesn't use the middle.
So that gives you a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, more because ships vary a lot in thickness, and you have to have a certain amount of thickness there to actually attach the pegs. So
I could see some ships using maybe the front 2 and leaving the back, like a ship that's really big in the front and smaller in the back, like maybe some Cardassian ships someday. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? It wouldn't be outside the realm of speculation, which of course I speculate all the time. But this is awesome. I love the 3, the 3 ship, the 3 peg option there.
Yeah,
That's
and
really
you also
cool.
notice on those bases they have some little indentations on there. And a lot of that stuff is used for gameplay. So there are little receptacles to hold tokens for like target lock stuff.
And then we've got our firing arcs that are also in here. Yeah.
Firing arcs and a number of other little marks and things. And then those indentations on the sides of the base are used for turning. And there's kind of
This right here. Yes.
turning system used.
And that is this system right here, which we're going to showcase here in a moment. Oh, that fits in there perfectly. I like it. Very cool. And this is the updated one. So the preview kit had a slightly older version. So this is so if you've seen my preview kit videos, this is how many notches we're gonna have in there.
There should be six little sections.
Yeah, so we can, and that allows us to have some up to maneuverability 3. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I got to get the Enterprise out of here. Okay. Oh, that came out nice and easily. So we've got the
Star
battle.
Drive.
Look at that. I love it.
Star Drive flying around without the saucer does always look a little sad.
It kind of reminds me of, I think in the pilot episode of Next Generation, when the first time we see this separate, is it just me, or was maybe Picard being a little bit like when he meets Riker for the first time and he's like, no, do it manually. I want you to dock it manually. Like there was no reason for that, right? Okay, so this, oh wow. And so there's a little notch right here. And that's going to go into right there.
It kind of friction fits like that.
But that fits really good.
Yeah, it'll hold on there pretty well, but it really holds and locks itself in once you put the pegs in there because they kind of support the front section and the rear section together.
Yeah, but I'm not really interested in the pegs. I just want to play with this right now.
Yeah,
I just like this feels really good. I remember having the micro machines, and I loved the micro machines, but they were all the same size, And scaling is so important. Like look at the Defiant next to this. Like that's beautiful, right? That's incredible. I really love it.
Tough little ship.
Little. Prepare for ramming speed. All right, and so we've got great detail on here, right? We've got our numbers, and this is actually the Enterprise. It's not the Yamato or another ship, which is very cool. And it says USS Enterprise right there. Very cool.
But for those excited by that kind of thing, lots of options for, modification, repaintability, etc.
Oh yeah, if you wanted to, yeah. Or if you wanted to do a mirror Enterprise,
you could even put another nacelle on there.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. All right, and then we have what I thought was the Stargazer. This is a medium ship, so it's going to be using the medium base here, correct? All right. So now I think some people will look at this, and I'm going to ask as soon as I get this out. I'm trying not to here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move these because I'm afraid I'm going to grab it too hard because I'm a little excited right now. I don't know if you guys watching can tell, but this is a happy day. But we're looking at the no, this is not the Stargazer. Which one is this?
This is the Hathaway.
The Hathaway. Okay, yes. But it is a Constellation class.
Yes.
Constellation class. Okay, good. All right. I was on the spot there for a second, but
as seen in peak performance.
Yes. And after that episode, so interestingly, it is refitted and serves in the Dominion War.
Oh man! Look, there's like a big old gun right down here. They've got like some. I don't know if that's a gun or an antenna, but it looks like a gun to me. If it's pointy, and so this one just has the one peg. It looks like. Or am I missing it, or is there a second peg?
Oh, that's just the one. Yeah.
Okay.
Up in the front of the.
Okay, and so that's when we can put this on the front. Now, some people may be wondering why are there two medium bases if there's only one ship in here, and I think I know the answer. So you tell me if I'm right or wrong, guys. I think the answer is because this ship right here, the Enterprise, can, of course, separate the saucer section. And does one of them use the medium base?
It does. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing that's the saucer section uses the medium base?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
well that's...
the star drive stays on the large.
Oh, that's awesome. So, look at that. And so if you want it to fly low to the ground, you can put that down in here. So this is really cool. But we have other stuff to look at too.
Just not as low to the ground as in Generations.
Not that low. Not that low. It's hard to that was a sad moment watching that whole thing kind of crash into.
Yes.
I wonder if somebody's going to pick up a copy of this and try to do a diorama of the saucer section kind of with a whole bunch of terrain.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool.
Here are the title cards for this.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's title. Oh, we got title cards. Look at this. All right, we're going to look at all the cards here in just a second. I want to zoom in and we'll look at some of the cardboard and some of the other things that come. Look at that. All right. All right, so we are going to look at some of the cardboard now. We have seen this already in the preview kit, but we are looking at the Defiance ship. What do we call these? The ship card or the ship board?
Ship display.
The ship display. Okay. I love how I need to have you guys here for all of my unboxings, right? Like, this is how we need to do this. I want to say this: if you've seen the preview kit, this is a really nice ship display. The cardboard is thick. These dials on here are like tight and very accurate. Like they're not if you've got a preview kit or if you've seen the preview kits, they were a little bit looser. This is really nice. This feels good. This feels very good. So excellent job on these. So we've got our power up here. We've got all our different stations: engineering, cargo, medbay, tactical instruments, helm, and the captain's chair. And we've got all of our different power levels here, and then our kind of our core stats printed on the middle. We'll talk more about these when we get into gameplay and stuff. We're just kind of looking at some of the differences. So I've seen this one before, but what I haven't seen is some of the other ships. I haven't seen a Constellation before. So look, a little bit of different evasion. So we got some different stats. All right, so that's pretty cool. Different hull looks like, and different speeds, and yeah. But this is nice. And here's the backside of the Constellation class ship. Very cool. Support ship medium.
And what's the Constellation's points value?
So this is a +3. Is it? So that's interesting to me because I was thinking that the Defiant has a 3, but this has +3. So Max, what does a +3 mean?
So the 3 means that if you're choosing the Defiant, you need to use some of your flex points for it,
right?
Because it is powerful for its class. But the Constellation is it's an older ship. As we see in peak performance and such, it has trouble keeping up with more modern ships without some upgrades. So in that case, it has that +3, which means it actually gives you some flex points to play with.
Oh, so you're incentivized to bring a little bit of an older ship. That's a nice little hook to play with. That's a really cool idea. I wonder what the Galaxy class has. I don't think he's going to give you any extra points because this is a beautiful and very iconic ship. We were talking a little bit about the timeline of this game and the fact that this doesn't necessarily have to be the Enterprise. You can run it as a regular Galaxy class. You could say that it's the Odyssey or the Yamato or any of the other Galaxy class ships that exist, or you could just say it's the Enterprise, and it's during that time before the Enterprise, while the Enterprise was still in service, or the Enterprise D was still in service during Deep Space Nine. Now there's a 0 here, so you're not going to get any extra incentive for bringing this one, but also no extra penalty for bringing this one. It almost seems like you should. It's telling me I should have a Galaxy class on my tabletop. That's what this shipboard is telling me. And I think that's a good thing. I agree with that. I think everybody should have one of these on their tabletop or on their desk.
So for every class, we sort of have a ship that's the level set for that class of ship, and for the capital class ships, it's the Galaxy. That is the level set.
Right.
So like if something is going to sort of like outclass the Galaxy, maybe someday down the road, a more modern ship, if we did the Titan or something like that, it would probably cost you some points because it's much newer.
Okay, so this is your baseline. Your baseline large ship. Now, I'm curious because we're going to look at the Jem'Hadar battle cruiser here in a minute. I'm curious if that will have a difference or not. But we do have 2 Jem'Hadar fighters, which we looked at. These are going to be the same, so we'll look at the back of this one. This one was in the preview kit. I noticed this one had a 0. Again, sounds like this is a pretty good baseline for a small ship.
For a scout class ship.
For a scout class,
it's a little bit more class-based than size-based, actually.
That's an important distinction.
You could have a capital class ship that is not large, in theory.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Okay. And then we have the Jem'Hadar battle cruiser, and this is again a beautiful ship. I love the way that these are. They're a lot tighter. This is just really well put together. I like the feel of these a lot better. So this is good stuff. That one's also going to be a 0. So it seems like but this is a capital ship large. So it seems like it's a roughly probably intended to be a gameplay equivalent to the Enterprise.
But it's a little weighted in a particular direction. If you look at some of its stats as you start to dig into the dials, if you look at some of its other effects, it has a particular focus.
It's got different weapons, and okay, and we've got actually the printed stats aren't too different, so we're still seeing a 139 here.
Yep.
But I haven't gone through all of everything. So yeah, but that's part of the deep dive as we'll get into a little bit later. But no, that looks really good. We've got more to look at. We've got a lot more to look at. So let's keep going. All right, we're going to look at some of the cards now. Now, there's a lot of the smaller sized cards. These are going to be damage decks. Damage decks are ship specific, or ship class specific. So the Defiant versus the Sao Paulo, in theory, would have the same damage deck. Right? All right. So yeah, so we're going to have damage decks. A couple of cards. And again, you only take these cards if you suffer certain types. Like, not all damage gives you a damage card. It's only when you go past a certain threshold on that on the little board here. We talk about
or
these.
If the attacker gets enough breakthrough successes
to
surpass your resilience.
Oh, then I can also give you one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, I'm learning. All right. We're gonna have to do some gameplay too. So you guys definitely make sure you're subscribed because we're gonna be doing some gameplay and more Star Trek Into the Unknown. So we've got some other cards here for escape pods and probes. There's a runabout in here. Runabout. Oh, that's cool. So we've got a lot of different things to learn about. Torpedoes. I haven't really talked about torpedoes very much, and they seem like I like the way that they seem like they're represented in this game. And we'll talk more about that in future videos as well. When we looked at the different titles already, these are the ones that are present in the core set. We have a lot of officers to run through, and I'm going to do these kind of quick. Some of these I've seen before from the preview kit, but like changelings. Oh, she's called the female changeling. I love that. That is wonderful. All right, let's look at these a little bit closer. All right, so we're gonna run through these a little closer up. The female changeling, Eris. I kind of whispered the names. I'm like, I don't know if I can pronounce that one. Wayun 4. I like that he's. I need to do another rewatch of DS9, but like this is a good reminder of like that he Look, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but they do use some cloning.
We even get to see multiple Wayuns at one point at the same time.
That's so cool. We're getting some core crew here. We got Miles O'Brien, we've got Worf, we've got Odo, and this is all art. These aren't like stills from the show. This is really great art.
I don't know if you noticed, but Miles O'Brien and Worf share a particular characteristic, they both have an extra point of health. Worf, because he's Klingon, and Miles O'Brien.
Oh, I should flip these over.
Miles O'Brien, so that he can suffer more.
Oh my God! Because he always has to suffer, doesn't he? All right, I'm gonna flip these over. Let you guys see the backs of them too. I'm gonna do that because I think people will want to see what all of the stats. So let's do that. The female changeling, and she could actually be all of these cards. Actually, could be changelings.
Yeah.
They
Sure.
There's Eris, and let's see. We looked at O'Brien already. Here's the back of O'Brien's card. When he leads a test to transport personnel, reduce but difficulty to a minimum of 1. He's good at transporting. Yeah. And there's Worf's back.
He was transporter chief for a long time.
He was transporter chief for a reason, right? There's Wei Yun's back. Wei Yun 4's back. We've got Jadzia Dax.
She's actually one of my favorite officers to use.
I loved Jadzia. And so did Julian Bashir. Just didn't really work out.
Yes.
They never... You know, I'll say this. I was not a fan of Bashir at the beginning, but I love how his character grows, and especially his relationship with Miles O'Brien. It's a great character arc. And Odo, Stern Constable. I love it. All right, and we've got Kira. That's a cool... I love that pose of Kira, too. This is, like, very early. Like, she's still that major who's just like, I don't like the Federation being on my station. Bajor could do our own thing. She's still the rebel in that one. And I love that you have the option to do other versions. Like, I noticed, like, Cisco has hair we're about to look at. So, you know, again, leaving options for other things. I can't wait to see, like, a Colonel Nerys at some point. But, you know, there's options for these things. But Benjamin Sisko.
Yeah, because we have the subtitles, we don't have to worry about you having 2 Ciscos.
Right.
Yeah, unless we give you a scenario with the mirror universe or something.
That could work. Oh, that'd be really cool. Speaking of Cisco, let's go ahead and talk about... We got a promos, thanks to WizKids. That we are... If you would like a promo, Benjamin Sisko, you want a chance to win this one, leave me a comment and talk about some of your favorite Benjamin Sisko moments down in the video description below. And if you win, I'll go ahead and reply to your comments, and I'll get you shipping information, and we'll go ahead and mail one of these out to you. Pretty cool stuff. All right, we're going to keep going. We got Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc. And then we've got a little more generic folks. We've got a Vorta Supervisor. We've got Reliable Commander. We've got 2 of those. Ooh, we've got a Founder. Look at that. Oh, like in mid morph. That's a really cool. That's a great piece. We've got the Karema Researcher, another Vorta Supervisor, Vorta Diplomat. There we go. We've got Jem'Hadar Second. We've got the Jem'Hadar First, Reliable Commander, Redoubtable Engineer. Scholarly Doctor, the Vigilant Security Chief, the Daring First Officer, who will not... He looks like he's so tired of people asking him for a haircut. It really does. Like, I am not the barber. You ask me that one more time, I'm putting you out an airlock. And the Intrepid Captain. And she looks like she's ready to challenge Cisco to a baseball game. Remember when they did the baseball game against... yes.
Niners versus Logicians.
And that was great. Gosh, I love Deep Space Nine.
Cisco may be a good dad, but he is a bad little league coach.
Oh, all right. So tell me about these. This is for some of our mission. Oh, these are our complications. That's what we're looking at. Okay. Let me zoom out a little bit. We'll look at some of the complications.
You made your way into the mission cards here.
Yeah, it was a different pile. It was right off to the side. There's a lot of different cards here. We've got Infection, Inscrutable Entity. Oh, I know that. That was from TNG. That was that living. The Tin Man, yes. Yeah. We've got the Race for Knowledge, Tactical Extraction, Cloak and Dagger, and Missing Crew. All right, so next up we have our situations. So we've got Anomalous Objects, Unstable Discovery, Distress Call, Hostile Raiders, Delicate Treaty, Neutral Zone, Survey. The missing survey teams, Show the Flag, Battlefield Rescue, Disruptive Ion Storms, and the Gamma Quadrant Anomalies. This is a lot of different gameplay situations that can arise from this, but this is also in there, and this is very, very cool. These are our, if you're going to separate the saucer section, this becomes kind of like your mini ship card for that saucer section, which is really cool, because you're basically running 2 ships at the same time there. And I guess, and this is also showing you which crew, stations, so you can take some crew, you can leave some crew behind, Oh, that's
part of separating the ships.
Mm-hmm.
The other card is there. You put that on the Star Drive section, so because that alters the stats. That's brilliant, yeah, because you just lost a big piece of your ship. Very cool. Love it. All right, we've got a couple more cards, and then we have some more plastic components we're going to look at, and then we'll look at the cardboard components and take a quick look at the rule book as well. So these are like runabouts. Yes.
Oh, that is really cool. I like that. So that because they're going to be pretty small, and it makes more sense to they're used with tokens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Okay, so we got a couple of those. And we've got, is this a Type 2 shuttlecraft? I don't know. I'm guessing Type 6. All right, I honestly guessed at the number. There's so many different types of shuttles that, like, you can guess, you might get it right. Yeah. Well, I say that, but then, like, half of my audience that knows way more about the types of shuttles than me is like, what a terrible thing to say. Okay, and we've got the Influence Tracker card here, and then these are, look at that. Okay, so we got cards to represent other ships too. Look at this, that mercenary ship. I think this is the one from when Picard kind of went undercover and he was looking for that artifact, and he had to try to signal the Enterprise secretly that he was working for. Don't blow us up.
And those can arise in scenarios. So those mission cards you went through,
yes.
Some of those missions can add those as aspects of the game, and they might be hostile to both players potentially, or one player might be able to use them in some way. The particular mission covers how they're handled.
That's awesome. All right. So we've got a lot of these cards, and then we've got these are I forget what we call these, but this is basically if we the direct and if we need to flip them over, or if I remember we only had one each of these in the preview kit,
right?
But it looks like we got a lot more options in the base game, which is very cool.
Every faction has 3 that govern them in each of 3 spheres: exploration, diplomacy, and combat.
Okay. And then, so are the different missions that we're going to see, they usually tend to be one of those 3, or are there some that are more than one of those 3?
The mission cards typically use all 3 of them.
Okay.
So you'll have all 3 of those in effect in various states. So, for instance, you could have one where you begin with diplomacy and exploration in their hostile state, but combat in its passive.
The other flips.
Calm.
Yes.
Calm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like when we come in peace, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that would represent a fairly escalated situation where teams can already start fighting each other without penalty.
Okay. Well, that'd be a fun one. Yeah. If you want to play one where you're going to jump right into combat, you can do one where you're where you're not starting necessarily in the calm state.
And there are some where they all start hostile rather than calm.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, especially
I
if
don't know
you're.
if there are any in the core set, but that is a design space that
You can definitely do. All right, so we've got our plastic here. So this is our range tool. This is how you're going to move. Of course, this will slide into the ship, and you will be able to. And these are just basically inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. And then I guess the other part is a 1/2 inch, because if you're doing 2 of them together, then that gets you the full inch. And we also have a couple of these system markers, because again, you're going to be able to mark off parts of your play area. And we have quite a few of these, and so we're going to put a couple of these down on the mat to kind of mark off an area. You probably want at least 3 of them, but usually a little more than that. And you put one of these in the center to say this is going to be System 1, and System 2, or System 3. We've got 3 of these in the core box, it looks like. So you can, run missions and get out of there, and then go pick up somebody, drop them off, fly over here, pick somebody else up, and do all of that. Well, I'm really interested to see how that works, because I haven't done a multi-system test mission yet, so that's also very interesting.
And then we've got cardboard. Let's look at some of that. All right, so we're looking at some of the cardboard here, and there's a lot more cardboard than I've seen before. We do have like our torpedoes and a lot of probe cards. These are all the little hexes here, a lot of numbers. Oh, look, and they're called trust tokens. I haven't gotten into trust yet. There's all kinds of, there's so many things to learn about. This is like the team tokens. One really cool thing that I like, and it's a good feedback I'd give to the WizKids guys, I like how they're you didn't have to do this, but you did it. He said these are system tokens. So many times when I'm punching out tokens in a new game, like I don't know what's what, and you know, that's just a really nice thing, especially if you want to punch them and put them in bags and sort them right away. This is gonna give you a great way to do that. So this is very well thought out.
I think that was our graphic designer Daniel Solis who came up with that idea.
Well, tell Daniel, fantastic job. Yeah.
He plays a lot of games. He knows what to put in there to make it easier to get on the table.
That's good stuff. We got the shuttlecraft. So this is kind of cool. So you've got neutral units, and this is like a whole neutral unit. It is like basically the same outline as a base for a ship base. You've got the same thing with your shuttlecraft. I love that. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, take a look at one of those shuttlecraft punched out.
Oh, here we go. There we go. See that? You can put your movement tool in there. And by the way, this works so well. I had done a video where I was doing these from an angle, so it didn't really translate very well. But you slide the tool. This is basically how movement is going to go. So I'll be like, all right, this is one click, boom, and do that. And then basically I'm going 4 ahead, so then I do that and then line them up. So that's how movement works. And it's very easy, but you want to do it kind of top down and don't do it from the side like I did in another video. So yes. All right, we've got a couple more pieces of cardboard. We've got, see, some of these I'm punching them out already. But we've got stuff for all of our markers there to mark things off, flag, a lot of the tokens for anomalies, and all kinds of other different things we're going to see on our maps. And then the last one is here for additional, these are like victory points or negative victory points. Look at that. Yeah, you don't want to get those. But, well, sometimes you do if you want to you decide you wanted to blow up your opponent before you were supposed to. Yeah, and very cool stuff. All right, and our rule books. We have 2 books here. So we have the Star Trek Into the Unknown game overview, and this is the rule book talking all about how to play the game. And we have the campaign guide, which is, I don't know if I want to spoil too much. I'll just look at a few pages from it. But this is, if you're running a campaign, this is going to the guide that's going to guide you through it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like cheating by saying the campaign guide is the guide for the campaign, but that's basically what that is. Yeah. All right, so that is our first look at the Star Trek Into the Unknown Federation versus Dominion core set. Again, big thanks to WizKids for making this possible. I am super excited. Let me know how excited you are down in the video description below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thanks to Michael and Max and John for having me out and making this all possible. And big thanks to my patrons for continuing to support the channel. I will talk to you guys soon, and definitely stick around for more Star Trek Into the Unknown content. We're going to be doing some gameplay with the designers, and it's going to be wonderful, and we'll see if we can blow each other up. So yeah, phrasing. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I want to thank you so much for watching. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all. The spice must flow, and always wash your socks.